Italian painter Lavinia Fontana was one of the first females in the Italian Renaissance to seek commissions and produced over 135 sophisticated oil paintings. The Medici family is a long line of Italian men and women who were very wealthy in the city of Florence. Like most commissioned family portraits in the Italian Renaissance, the man of the house was always pictured as the biggest, most important family member. This holds true in Lavinia Fontana's portrait of the Medici family. The Medici family most likely commissioned this painting just to show their wealth and glory to the people of Florence. I opted to display this family portrait in my exhibit because it clearly shows that even in the Italian Renaissance, a time of artistic revival and renewal, men were still portrayed as the most important member of the family. Constantino Brumidi, an Italian painter born in 1805, was trained in the art of traditional frescoes at a very young age and had painted in the palaces in Rome and has painted many artworks in the Vatican. In 1852, he emigrated to the United States. Starting in 1855, Brumidi painted many murals and frescoes throughout the United States Capitol building. It wasn't until the end of the Civil War in 1865 that Constantino Brumidi started work on his fresco in the rotunda of the United States Capitol building. The citizens of the United States were meant to see this fresco and be reassured in the reunification of their country. This painting is a beautiful representation that there is strength in unity. This fresco is also a beautiful depiction of the power George Washington had in our country. He influenced the United States in many different ways, first and foremost being the first United States president and commander-in-chief. The reason I decided to add this fresco into my exhibit titled Men in Power was to show that men in power can be influential without abusing their elected office. This fresco depicts George Washington sitting amongst 13 maidens of knowledge: Lady Victory, Lady Liberty, Lady War, Lady Science, Lady Marine, Lady Commerce, Lady Mechanics, and Lady Agriculture. This portrays that even during his ascension to heaven, he relied on others and unified together to get where he needed to go. Leni Riefenstahl could be considered Adolf Hitler's Kellyanne Conway. She was in charge of making every propaganda movie released about the Nazi Party. As an actor, director, producer, and filmmaker, her career expanded through a wide variety of movies, but two of her most famous movies include Victory of East, that was released in 1933, and Triumph of the Will, which was released in 1935. This screen grab of Adolf Hitler in the movie Triumph of the Will would be my third artwork in my exhibit, because it shows him speaking at the rally in Paris in 1934. This movie was sponsored by the National Socialist Party to highlight the successes of the Nazi Party. This still, taken from Triumph of the Will, shows Adolf Hitler feeling very proud of his party's successes in Paris. This movie is propaganda for the Nazi Party and does a wonderful job accenting the quote-unquote high points of the Nazi Party. This photograph is a perfect example of Hitler and his power. He is shown in the foreground of this photo because he is standing taller than the people surrounding him, and he has this look of pride on his face. As the Chancellor of Germany, Adolf Hitler attempted to expel the entire Jewish population from Western Europe. This is the characteristic of a man in power abusing it. He is shown to be very proud of his quote-unquote accomplishments, even though his platforms and opinions were based completely on racism and hatred of others. This photograph of the Trump family was taken in April of 2015. Just like the Medici family portrait, the man is pictured in the middle of the portrait. In many sources, Trump has been compared to Hitler because of his consistent abuse of power and his opinions regarding minorities and people that are unlike him. Thank you for coming with me on this tour of my exhibit titled Men in Power.